Tonight in Vallecas, the conversation has shifted from tactics and transfers to turf. A patch of grass, scorched and sparse on the wings, has become the newest battleground of pride between two different worlds of Spanish football. The stadium's condition arrived in headlines before the teams did, with Rayo's president Martin Presa insisting the surface was playable and television voices amplifying the worry that Barcelona's stars might be exposed to needless risk. Into that noise walked Idiu Aguirre, blunt and unsparing, refusing to let the debate remain sentimental. He admitted the pitch was far from perfect, but used the admission to puncture what he described as Barcelona's pre-match theatrics, asking pointedly, "Are you really going to cry that much?" The question landed not as a throwaway line, but as a challenge. If you're as good as you say, play. Don't turn discomfort into a headline. This moment matters because it is not merely about a faltering blade of grass, it is about how stories are told and who gets to tell them. Barcelona is not a club that whispers. Their complaints carry weight. Their injuries and grievances ripple through sponsors and broadcasters. When they raise the alarm, suddenly a local pitch becomes a national debate. Rayo, by contrast, is a club rooted in working-class Vallecas, formed by necessity and stubbornness. Their response, shrugging at the spectacle and pointing to an unforgiving summer, reframes the issue as one of identity, the hometown side saying they will make do, and the visiting giant expecting a runway. The weather is not a neutral actor here. Spain's recent heat waves left turf struggling. Groundskeepers are overworked and budgets for lower-tier maintenance are not endless. Martin Presa's defense that this was a one-off consequence of extreme heat is plausible and humane, yet plausible reasons rarely stop the optics from spiraling. A celebrity squad expected to glide across immaculate grass colliding with a patchy, sunburnt field makes for an image that is easily weaponized on social media. Memes arrive before meaningful debate, and nuance is crushed by the need to pick a side. Pundits seized the contrast with appetite. Some argued the pitch poses real safety concerns. Uneven ground and missing grass can lead to ankle injuries, awkward falls, and careless challenges. Others, looking back at Barca's own history of public complaints, notably when they questioned fixtures or used scheduling protests to make a point, smelled a familiar strategy. Public pressure disguised as concern. That's the hypocrisy line, and it cuts both ways. If Barcelona once accused others of manufacturing grievances, being on the receiving end now feels like poetic justice to their critics. Idiu Aguirre's tone was deliberately provocative because sports debate thrives on provocation. Confronting a superstar culture that expects special treatment is as much entertainment as analysis. "If you're so good, go out and compete," he said, and that line does two things. It delegitimizes the preemptive complaint, and it forces a simple test of character. Will the best adapt, or will they demand ideal conditions before showing their worth? For many viewers, the question is not only about tomorrow's score, but about what it means to be a competitor in a league where the stakes and resources vary widely from club to club. There is a deeper structural truth here. Global clubs like Barcelona operate with safety nets, medical teams, financial cushions, global audiences that magnify the consequences of any injury. A precautionary statement from such a club is not only about a player's welfare, it's also about protecting brand value. For a club like Rayo, the calculus is different. Pride, survival, and the local supporters' tolerance of imperfection shape their response. Those two realities are now clashing in public, and the small patch of grass has become a proxy for inequalities in Spanish football. The fallout is already visible. Fans traded barbs on timelines, pundits debated responsibility, and headlines split between safety concerns and accusations of spectacle. Yet when the whistle blows, the grass will receive its simplest verdict. Either the match is played without incident, in which case critics will say Barcelona overreacted, or something goes wrong, and the voices that minimize the problem will be shown to be wrong. Either outcome rewrites part of the narrative. What this episode reveals goes beyond a single field or a single match. It reveals how modern football negotiates risk, image, and power. It shows how a local club can harness defiance into a narrative of authenticity, and how a global club's voices can be reframed as entitlement. In the mosaic of La Liga, giants and scrappy locals, the controversy over a sunburnt pitch becomes a small but telling battle over identity, influence, and who gets to define what counts as a legitimate grievance. When the final whistle arrives, the result will matter for the table, but the story will stick in the memory because it exposed something quieter and more revealing about the game we think we know.